Good morning and welcome to Live in a Greenhouse on YouTube. If you're new here, this channel is about my journey to design, build, and then live in the first greenhouse enclosed tiny home in the United States. I bought my property on a small island in Northwest Washington State in the spring of 2020. 30 years earlier, the previous owners put in an RV pad with temporary power, water, and septic. So I've been able to live and work in a small trailer on site. I applied for my building permit in January of 2021, and we broke ground in November of 2021. My project is quite a few weeks behind schedule due to the crazy world of residential building these days. Inspection delays, material delays lead to labor delay, and it has become increasingly more challenging to share the power from the trailer with the construction. So I've been eagerly awaiting the new power service to the greenhouse and house to leave the temporary power to the trailer. The rough electrical passed the government inspection on May 13th, and it passed the power company's inspection on May 27th. At that time, they gave me a 2 to 3 week window for the service to be turned on. It's now 5 weeks later, and the power company's contractor is here to make that final connection. So stay tuned as 8 months into construction, we finally power up the house and greenhouse. The power pole is at the edge of my driveway. My neighbor built last year, and we've been waiting to make this connection this year. So this hole has been open and the post with my house number leaning against the power pole for almost 2 years. I'm really looking forward to this closure. Filling out paperwork, loading in tools. Dave started to cut in the primer in the living room. The thin twine is used to pull a heavy rope through the conduit. The heavy rope is then attached to the power cable to pull that through the conduit between the pole and the service entrance on the north side of the greenhouse. It's a tight fit and a long distance, so lubricant eases the friction. Dave has moved on to primer in the kitchen. Since the backhoe is on site and Matt is here until Poltelco finishes, he's going to run the irrigation supply line from the rainwater tanks into the greenhouse. One end of the cable is now at the panel. Time to send the other end up the pole. On this end, they slip the conduit onto the cable rather than fishing the cable through the conduit. Cut-in is done and time to start rolling. The supply line with a hose attachment is now inside the greenhouse. It'll be replaced with an irrigation standpipe later, but it's nice to have water available in the greenhouse until then. And now it's time to backfill the trench. The supply line is complete, and now the final connection at the service entry panel. Matt takes photos for his records, and then it's time to backfill the holes at the panel and at the pole. The temporary support can go now. Dirt has been stockpiled next to the driveway. Time to plant the post for my house number. A few strategically placed rocks protect the sign and make a space for wildflowers. There are extra slots for future service to the cabins and the future carport. Then Matt flipped the breaker. Matt walked me through the house panel and then flipped those breakers. All nicely labeled. And there you have it, a major milestone passed, so now finish electrical can be scheduled. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and come back next time as we see what progress can be made in these crazy scheduled days.